Hello, moviegoers, and welcome to another edition of Have You Seen It? I'm your host, Denise, and I'm going to get right into my favorite actor and then my review. So, my favorite actor for this week is Tommy Lee Jones, and three of my favorite Tommy Lee Jones movies are The Fugitive, which he won an Academy Award for, U.S. Marshals, and Coal Miner's Daughter. So, Tommy Lee Jones is my favorite actor this week. All right, I'm going to move into my review for this week, and there's not a lot to it, but I'm going to do my best to, give you an idea of what you're going to see when you go to the movies to see Gladiator II. All right, this movie stars Denzel Washington, Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal, and Connie Nielsen. Now, they play the roles of Macrinus, Lucius, General Arcasius, and Lucilla, respectively. Okay, so when the movie starts, you do see a visual homage, if you will, to Gladiator I, which starred Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix. Okay, so as the credits are rolling, you see this really nice kind of like watercolor montage of the first movie. So if you did see Gladiator, because this montage is kind of in it's like a painting, so to speak. If you remember the characters and what they look like, you will be able to make them out in, this first introduction to the film, which I thought was pretty cool. So the movie starts with a big, there's always a big war between, Rome and then somebody else. So you've got this big war going on, and in this particular scene, you see Lucius, an adult Lucius now, in battle, and then a tragedy occurs, and then of course he is now seeking revenge. So, or just, I'm going to, avenge the death of this person in my life, and because I'm really hurt. I'm really messed up about it because of the way it was done, and I know who did it, so I'm after you. So this is where he's coming from. So now, just like in the first movie, the victor has taken, slaves, if you will, who are going to eventually become slaves. They've taken them away. We've won this war. We've captured you. We're taking all of you away. And guess what? You're going to be slaves, and you're going to fight in the gladiator wars at the Colosseum. So that's basically, the movie in terms of how it relates to the first installment. So his job is to just bring, glory back to Rome in a way that is respectable. And so as this movie goes on, you've got entertaining fight scenes. And I'm going to tell you right now, I went to see the movie for Denzel Washington. And in this movie, Denzel is Denzel. And so this is something, a role that I've not seen him in before. So I wanted to see how he played that particular role in this film. Young Lucius is now an adult. The visuals were pretty spectacular. The cinematography as well. The scenery, the costumes. The part of the film that I struggled with, and I probably struggled in the same way with the first film, is one, keeping the characters other than your main character, you know, keeping them, you know, in sync. Who is who? What is your relationship to this person? What is your relationship to that person? Why do you want to kill this person? Why are you upset with this person? Why do you want to take this piece of land or this village from that person? So I had to, you know, really focus on that. The political aspects of this film were not appealing to me because, again, I'm there for the fighting. And, you know, the political stuff, you know, there are too many people involved. There are too many different conversations. So I was trying to keep up with that. And that was a little hard for me at times because that part just kind of lost me. You know, in terms of the fight scenes, they had some different, I guess, animals or creatures that, you know, the gladiators were fighting in the Colosseum. Baboons that looked kind of weird, very, you know, very strange. And one scene that really was puzzling for me in terms of the fight scenes was sharks. I was a little confused because the Colosseum is filled with sharks and sharks need water, right? And so you have this scene with sharks and water, but then the next day, or let's say however long it takes to drain the Colosseum, then you have a regular, you know, fight with different animals and so forth. So that, you know, I was kind of scratching my head at that, but, you know, Hollywood, do you. So in this movie, young Lucius does find out that Maximus was his daddy. Mama kept it from him. And so he was feeling some kind of way once he found out. But once he found out and had heard so much about Maximus and how he was just like the gladiator of all gladiators, he really wanted to live up to that role and, you know, kind of fill his daddy's gladiator sandals and be the person that his mom and dad would be proud of. So there you go, folks. That is Gladiator II. It was okay. It had a running time of 2 hours, 30 minutes. So I'm just putting that out there, letting you know already. I was able to, you know, I was able to sit through it because I already knew if this is going to be a Gladiator movie, it's going to be more than 2 hours. So there you go. Gladiator 2. If you want to see it, don't compare it to the first one. The first one, you just can't. It was fantastic. And this movie was just okay. All right. So there you go. All right, folks, I'm going to jump into my Nailed It for this week. And my Nailed It for this week is Jack Lemmon from the movie The Apartment. And in this particular scene is called The Schedule. And in this film, Jack Lemmon he worked at a big company and he was, I think his role was the insurance accounting clerk for the firm. And so he was a bachelor, lived alone, and he lent his apartment out to the higher executives in the firm in order to get a promotion. So once they knew that he was a single guy and they were having affairs and trysts with all sorts of different women, he would lend them his key and they would, you know, have their tryst in his apartment and he would just have to leave. But the funny part about this scene is that in the schedule, he became sick and he really needed to just be home and take care of himself. So he had to rearrange the schedules for about 3 or 4 different executives. And to see him go through his Rolodex, yes, I'm dating myself, was quite funny. And a funny scene to watch. I felt really bad for him because he really needed to rest up, and these gentlemen were not having it. So that is my nailed it for this week. The apartment, Jack Lemmon, and the scene, the schedule. All right, folks, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like button. And remember, we are available on every podcast platform in the universe. Just type in, have you seen it with Denise? And there I will be. Okay, moviegoers, you know what to do. Until next week, I need you to see a movie because I'm going to see a movie. Until next week, bye-bye.